Okay. Hello. Um, I've decided instead of live tweeting my experience with this, I'm gonna do a little let's play. This is mostly for my boyfriends. Um, so if anyone else sees this and is mean to me, I will maul you. Also, disclaimer. Um, I talk kind of fast when I'm reading, and I know I sound like a pig and my voice is high. So shut up. Hell yeah. Strong language, violence, blood and gore, and sex scenes. Also emotional manipulation, which is not as cool, but that's okay. First Bite Games presents. Dead End Drive. I played a little bit of this and then forgot to finish it because my brain doesn't work. So I'm just starting it over. Okay. Nothing but darkness surrounds me. I close my eyes, desperately trying to blink it away, but there's just nothingness. A void. I'm alone. Where am I? What am I doing here? How did I even get here? I try moving my legs. Nothing. As hard as I try to run away, my body refuses to cooperate. I try my arms next. Frozen. Before I can try anything else, a light appears in the distance. There's something else flickering right next to that light. I can barely make it out, but what little I can see is horrifying. Glowing red eyes. Bright white fangs. Blood dripping from sharp talons. In an instant they multiply, dancing around in the shadows. They laugh, a cacophony of demonic giggles, and then skitter towards me at an inhuman speed, their movements chaotic. I'm helpless as they close in around me. An aroma of metallic sweetness infiltrates my nostrils, and I'm surrounded. Then they pounce, claws tearing deep into my muscles as they grab hold of me, teeth sinking into my flesh. I try to scream, but no sound escapes. Part 1. Hunger. Also, if the audio, sucks, if the game audio is way too loud or my voice is way too loud or something, I'm sorry. I don't really know how to use this program very well. So, my eyes jolt open as I wake up in a cold sweat. It was a dream. Just a dream. Or closer to a nightmare. Depends on how you feel about being torn apart by vampires, I guess. My heart feels like it's about to burst out of my chest as my mind races over the lingering memory of what I saw. I quickly scan my surroundings to make sure I'm actually in my room, and also alive. Everything is in its rightful place, and my laptop is asking me if I'd like to continue watching Death of the Dead. At this point, I should know better than to fall asleep watching horror movies, but I was lured in at the prospect of two hot characters kissing, and I just rested my eyes for a little too long. Oops. Some ridiculous part of my brain holds a kernel of hope that one day I'll enter a deliciously dark world of the unknown and unexplainable, but for now, I'm stuck here. Even my dreams won't let me near what I want. And now that these thoughts are once again racing through my mind, I know it's absolutely fruitless to try to fall back asleep, but I try nonetheless. I go through every trick in the book, breathing exercises, a counting sheet, writing erotic fan fiction in my head, decidedly unhelpful. Surprise, surprise, I'm still awake and blankly staring at my ceiling. Great job, me. I sigh, pushing the covers off my body. There's no point staying in bed. I grab my phone from my bedside table, bracing myself as I check the time. 3 a.m.! Once again, my body has betrayed me by falling into this disgusting habitual cycle. Have a nightmare, wake up, stay awake, rinse, repeat. Defeated, I yawn and stretch my bones as I stand, and I make my way to my bedroom mirror. I drag my fingers down my cheeks and glare at my reflection, illuminated by the dangling fairy lights. What's your name? So I am gonna put my own name, which you may say is cringe. But I don't care, because I am extremely gay and I do what I want. We'll leave the last names. Pronouns. He, him, please. I color. Sure. I take a deep breath. I am Neff Amsel, and I'm going to have a good night. If only my therapist could see me now. A positive affirmation to start my... Wait. Is it night? Morning? The time between times? Normally, when this disjointed sleeping pattern curses me, I either read my old collection of goose flesh books for the 100th time, or write for my website. The singularly most interesting thing about me is that I have cradled and nurtured a cryptid blog to a nice level of internet fame. Ghostin is my main source of serotonin and started out a tiny forum, an avenue to find and cultivate friendships with those that love the strange and unusual as much as I do. It still serves the same purpose now, but on a larger scale. Mingling still happens, and the original forums are as active as ever, but I had to get creative and produce different types of content in order to keep myself afloat in this economy. My review of Where Are the Werewolves goes up later today, and I also need to upload that How to Attract a Bigfoot video. The crown jewel of Ghostin is also overdue for an update. It's an erotica section, lovingly dubbed the Cryptid Coitus Corner. I hope I fucking said that right. And it surprised me to see it become the most popular part of the website. I'll admit I'm no Bill Shakespeare, but it warms my heart to see people coming back for my wide and varied selection of supernatural erotica. Who knew that horny horror was like catnip to people all over the world, and not just me? Unfortunately, I'm stuck on my latest would-be masterpiece, and all I have is the potentially questionable title, Mummy Milkers. It's a work in progress. I wave it off. I'll figure all that out later and update Cryptid Coitus Corner when inspiration hits. I lazily scan my room, trying to hit that motivation jackpot, when I pause on my window. The moon is full and bright against a starless sky, an excellent setting for some ominous entertainment. Maybe I need to get out, go for a walk, see what early morning Portland offers me. There's enough weirdness happening during the day in this city, so I'm sure something's bled over into the twilight hours. With my mind made up, I mosey over to my closet. What does one wear for a witching hour stroll? Ooh, okay. Well, sure, I want to look sexy as hell. If I'm going out, I'm doing it in style. 3 a.m. it may be, but I can and will look my best at any hour. I dig out the most expensive sweater I own and pull it on over the jeans that make my ass look amazing. I pose in front of the mirror, blowing a kiss to Mirror Neff. Looking good. I'm a little abuzz with excitement as I gather my bearings. The most radical thing I've done lately is quit my gray-toned office job and pick up shifts at a local coffee shop to supplement the income from my website. It's comforting knowing that there are others like me who have this undeniable attraction to the things that go bump in the night, despite the monotony of my day-to-day. It's easier to exist when you blend in and squirrel away any untoward interests. It avoids awkward conversations and no one's caught on to my deep dark secrets yet. There was a time where I felt that my desires for the supernatural were something to be ashamed of. And, well, maybe they are in polite society, but after I spent too many brain-rotting hours in an office cubicle, I decided I would lean into the delusion to bring some color back into my life. Most people don't see the value in that sort of thing, and that's fine. But I can't help it. Something about the occult excites me more than anything else. It's always been that way. I gave up trying to fight it a long time ago. I shake the thoughts from my head. It's no use thinking about that now. I have some inspiration to look for. I grab my phone, my wallet, and my house keys from the desk and give my room a once-over, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Then, with a final flash of some finger guns to my reflection in the mirror, I'm out. Ooh, okay. It isn't long until I find myself standing outside the house. 6969 Dead End Drive. Heh. Nice. It's creepy and old, and no one actually knows who owns it, and right now it's luring me in. Normally, I pass by on my walk to the coffee shop, and during the day, give it no more than a fleeting thought. Maybe it's the desperation for a crumb of inspiration, but tonight I'm intrigued. For years, I thought it was totally abandoned, the windows all covered with what looks like scraps of newspaper, but what gives me pause is the front yard. It's too well kept. Those bushes don't tend to themselves. Like every historic neighborhood, there's always that one house that has a particularly bad reputation, and this gothic beauty is it. I've heard all the stories, I count them on my fingers. Witches who eat children, an axe murderer who slaughtered their whole family, a pack of feral stray cats overthrowing the previous owner, a lycanthrope's hideout, and my personal favorite, vampires. I always thought it was a joke to scare away kids to stop them from playing on their lawn, but if only it were true. I find myself just standing here staring, tempted by the house and what might linger inside it, which isn't the smartest move. In October. In the Pacific Northwest. It's dark. I'm cold. It's also definitely about to rain. I should go in. The words fall out of my mouth without thought, just pure impulse, succumbing to the mystery tugging at my curiosity. I shrug to myself and look around. No one's here to witness my petty crime of breaking and entering. With my journalistic integrity intact, I will myself to stroll up to the house. The porch groans loudly in protest as I step on it and my hand reaches out for the front door. I apply gentle pressure and the door just swings open with a deliciously spooky, decidedly terrifying creak. That's not what I expected. Was it just left ajar like that? Damn, I was very prepared to use the lock-picking skills I've picked up from all the video games I've played, which totally would have worked. As the door swings open, a slight breeze blows from inside, like someone forgot to close the fridge and let out the cold. I shiver against it. And then, finally, I hesitate. Should I really be adding trespasser to my resume? Am I actually doing this? Well, I mean, obviously. Come on. What would my therapist say? She told me it would be a good idea for me to say yes to more things in my life. This is almost certainly what she was talking about. Listen, Neff. You go into this house and you do it right now. Think of the possibilities. And if there are no corporeal beings, hopefully there will be a hot ghost that won't make me want to shit my pants. I push the door open a little more and squeeze inside. It's now or never. Once I get inside the house, my teeth start chattering. It's cold, like really fucking cold. Someone forgot heating exists. I think I'm in a small foyer, but it's hard to tell because without the soft glow of the moon outside, I can barely see my hand in front of my face. I pull out my phone, turn on the flashlight, and inspect my surroundings. As I shine my light around the room, I see this place appears to be lost in time. Nothing seems to have changed since at least the 1800s, not the furniture, the wallpaper, or the smell. I inhale deeply and catch the scent of something pungent and putrescent hidden deep within the normal old house musk. Unpleasant as it is, it's an aroma that intrigues the rest of my senses, beckoning me to find the rest of the secrets packed within these walls. At the end of the hall, I see light sneaking through the crack of a half-open door. Whoever's here, if anyone at all, must be in there. I hold my breath as I listen intently for clues, and sure enough, there are the signs of life I crave. I hear what sounds like muffled conversation, and then a very clear,
"Fuck you!"
I raise an eyebrow. Now this is something worth investigating. As I take another step, the floorboards creak loudly under my feet. Shit. I pause, silent as a grave and still as a statue, and pray those muffled voices didn't hear me. There's a tense moment before the voices continue, and I release the breath I was holding. I pass the stealth check. Maybe. Continuing to sneak along the dark corridor, I creep closer and closer to the illuminated room. Then I'm right outside the cracked door with my back against the wall. Now that I'm closer, I can hear them more clearly. Three distinctly different, dulcet tones echo into the hallway.
Do you smell that?
Everything goes deathly silent. Then,
It smells like human in here.
I freeze instantly.
There it is again.
I keep telling you, it's your dirty cups piled in the sink. You're just as shit at doing dishes as you are playing cards.
God, I'm glad I smell like dirty dishes.
At least when he sucks at cards, there's a chance he'll have to take his clothes off.
First of all, I'm good at everything. A warrior like me just can't waste his time on trivial things like cards and dishes. Gotta save my huge brain and muscles for more important things. Second,
I hear the sound of someone inhaling deeply.
My nose never lies. I smell human.
The speaker's words hit me like a thunderbolt. What had I been thinking, skulking about in the hallway and eavesdropping on whoever lives here? Could be a troop of axe murderers for all I know.
Have we already forgotten the time your nose led us straight into that werewolf house party?
Somehow, despite the growing panic in my chest, the phrase werewolf house party makes me snort. I cover my mouth with my hand immediately, as though it might somehow take it back, but it's too late.
Go on. Show yourself.
I can't describe the feeling, but it's like I'm being compelled to step from the darkness and into the light. My feet propel me forward of their own accord, carrying me around the corner as I resign myself to the fact that I've been caught. What I see when I enter the room jolts me right out of my numbness into a state of shock. Hee. Uncontrollably, my heart skips a beat. The three voices that I heard are matched by three equally as mesmerizing faces. They're so beautiful it almost hurts to look at them. And by the look of their slightly perturbed and yet also slightly intrigued expressions, I've clearly interrupted something. Using my big galaxy brain, I survey the situation and decide my next move. There's a mess of playing cards and glasses of red wine strewn across the table in front of them. The way they're holding their cards reminds me of an old spaghetti western right before there's a shootout in the saloon. The three of them stare at me in a way that makes me feel like a ham ready for carving. None of them speak, they just evaluate me with this bizarre hunger in their gazes. I should say something to shatter this long, incredibly awkward pause. Okay. So, these are all wonderful, but I think that this one is the one that will make me laugh the most, so. Howdy, partners! Well, he did say it was like a spaghetti western. The words are barely out of my mouth before they leap towards me at inhuman speed, knocking me onto my back and pushing me down against the carpet. The breath leaves my lungs and my hands burn as bare skin and textile collide.
See? I fucking told you I smelled human. Never doubt me again.
Dibs. Really, Laurel? Can't we just share? We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, Laurel, can't you just share?
No, Valeria. As the oldest, smartest, and hottest, the human is mine by right.
I feel like a piece of furniture out for auction to swap me. Am I into that? I'm completely mesmerized by every hand movement, every turn of their lips, every glance in my direction as they bicker. My heart races, and I can feel myself getting unnaturally hot, despite the freezing temperature of the house.
Don't be greedy, Illy. Think of all the fun we could have.
Yeah, Illy. Look at all the fun we have.
That's all it is for you. Fun. You two enjoy those prepackaged little blood bags. But a hunter like me needs to feed. My fangs haven't pierced
His face, he looks so pitiful. The biggest one has me pinned to the floor, but despite their threatening words, they don't exactly seem intent on killing me right this second. Even lying prone on the ground, the first thing I notice is their teeth, or rather the deadly points of their canines. Their skin doesn't have the same plumpness or glow that mine has, almost like their capillaries forgot how to refill with blood. And the mirror behind them has no reflections. How convenient, a conveniently placed mirror. No. This cannot be happening. Can it? There's no way they're actually vampires? The word crashes out and they turn to me. Hungry, unforgiving, feral. The one they called Valeria grabs hold of my chin with a delicate hand, but there's nothing delicate about the way she holds me.
Looks like we have a fan on our hands.
Ooh, his tongue. I like that. I like that sprite.
It looks like we do.
Her dark brows are pinched when she leans closer, her head tilted like she's sizing me up.
You interrupted us, kitten. And Ilias was just about to take his shirt off.
Taking your shirt off is for losers. And I was clearly winning.
Yeah, he was clearly winning.
don't have to dream about winning. Winning is all I do. Look at these muscles. My face, these cards.
Okay, darling, whatever you say. The trio continues to bicker amongst themselves, and I just lie here, watching. Vampires are just myths, monsters made up by confused historians and then embellished by storytellers seeking to make us feel something. There has to be a simple explanation for these three, but now is not the time to get myself worked up in my own little fantasies. It's probably just some sort of kinky vampire LARP event, cosplayers who lift or something, and I'm usually so on top of these gatherings. The costuming and props are serious, movie magic things, even the red wine in their glasses looks like real blood, and it wouldn't surprise me if they rented out this house for their own pleasure. There's no way you're real vampires. Who are you? A deadly silence fills the space between us as I gracelessly interrupt their quarreling. Valeria's hand gets tighter on my chin. Ilias's body feels heavier against me.
You don't think we're real?
I don't give a shit what he thinks. He'll know we're real enough when his blood is sliding down our throats.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I did trespass in their home. So, like, that's probably what I deserve.
Too much talking, not enough killing.
Also fair. Ilias lunges for me at a speed that my eyes can hardly register, and I'm in such a broken state of shock that I say the first thing that comes into my head. Parley! They all pause immediately, going still as statues as they look at me with a distinct mix of disgust and confusion.
Parlay?
Oh, parlay. Never mind. Pretend I didn't mispronounce it.
Do we look like fucking pirates to you?
You are what you eat, I suppose. Yo ho ho.
God. I'm sorry, is there like a vampire version of parlay where you have to let me explain myself before you kill me?
That green shit they put on your food to make it look nice?
Parlay, not parsley. It's some bullshit the human picked up from the movies. You know, parlay.
Clearly, Ilias does not know.
Besides, it's bold of you to assume we have anything to talk to you about, human.
He could surprise you, Val.
Honestly, Laurel, who hasn't eaten a ship full of sailors? Oh, now you've got me thinking about that time in Central Pay.
She gives my head an idle little shake, her fingers digging into my cheeks and making my mouth purse as she stares wistfully into the distance.
Oh, pristine beaches, expensive wines, obnoxious tourists no one will miss.
As they once again continue to talk as if I'm not there, my gaze flits between their gorgeous, terrifying faces, desperate to find something I can use. All those years of memorizing books and movies and useless video games and cryptid lore has me prepared for this moment. I rack my brain for what little information I've managed to learn about these three thus far. The biggest one, Ilias, is apparently the oldest and seems to believe he's the best of three of them in every way. He's probably susceptible to flattery. Valeria, the most petite of the trio, seems to have a penchant for luxury if the glazed look in her eyes when she mentions Saint Tropez as anything to go by. And finally, Laurel, the hardest to read of the three, gives me the distinct impression that they might be open to being entertained. Did I misgender them earlier, or do they use he, they? I do not remember. I am so fucking sorry if I misgender them though. I won't have much time to try whatever it is I'm going to do, so I'd better choose a vampire fast and just go for it. I mean, okay, listen, I know exactly what I'm about. Laurel, you seem off the top to appreciate a little entertainment. You know, dinner and a show. A lot sparks in their dark eyes. I have to hope that's a sign of genuine interest, however mild or controlled.
And you've got all that from 5 minutes of eavesdropping. Surely not. You must be a truly gifted psychic.
A joke, clearly, but there's a soft lilt to their casual tone, where I'd expect to hear sarcasm. Should I be worried?
Oh, incredible. The things that fly over your head, Illy.
I'm being serious, Val. A clairvoyant has arrived to teach us about ourselves.
Uh-oh. My chest flutters, keenly aware of the predicament I've launched myself into.
I think you ought to prove yourself. Tell me what I'm thinking right now.
Boring.
Not every moment can be a rave, Ellie. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were going to read my mind.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I know there's a lot of choices that lead to death in this game. Like, okay, so drinking my blood is maybe too simple, right? And then how brave I am is too, like, conceited. So, okay, fine. Me thinking about you, thinking about me.
What?
Is that supposed to be some sort of clever trick?
Well,
I perk up, watching Laurel as though they were a lottery announcer preparing to call my winning numbers.
it's not clever.
Their smile is so cute! Oh my god. Look at their fangs. I'm gonna actually start crying. Valeria throws up a hand.
Ugh.
Hey, I read your
To
mind.
varying degrees of success.
Success is still success, so now you should read mine.
Are you sure? What you hear might frighten you.
Bring it. I'm thinking about... Ah, Jesus. I mean, okay, so obviously the funniest answer would be erotic fanfiction. But then, like, is that the one that they'll appreciate the most? I mean, like, listen, I have to pick it. Come on. Laura regards me with what looks like surprise and more than a little amusement. Jesus Christ.
But erotica does seem the next best option for someone like you.
Someone like me, huh? Oh, shit. The others whip their attention towards Laurel, too. I can't decide if I should be assured by their mutual surprise, or if they're all in it together, playing me for a gullible fool.
How does he keep doing that? Not that I care. Who needs mind tricks when you've got a body like mine anyway?
Okay, beloved.
Ugh.
Valeria sniffs, offended.
It's called cold reading, and they're no better at it than I am, Illy.
Somehow, once again, these three beautiful people are arguing amongst themselves, and I'm left with a moment to ponder my options. There's no going back for me, but maybe I can... Scheherazade my way through this extremely sexy, scary predicament. It's clear to me that we'll never settle on who gets to eat me if we continue on like this. You're all just too sexy and cool and clever.
Again, wasting time talking when we could be feeding.
They're all hopeless. Laurel, I wish to kiss you so much. The massive vampire actually pouts.
It actually hurts to be this bored, you know?
Thank you, Laurel. It's an honor. Okay, well, I was thinking maybe I could ask you three a couple of questions. You know, for me to get to know each of you a little better. That way we can see who's the best fit to eat me.
You're holding Illy and I back for a fucking job interview.
I haven't had a job in...
He frowns, his eyes squinting, mouth opening and closing. He seems to be thinking particularly hard about something. He raises his hand and looks to be counting on his fingers, but he gives up after a few moments. Laurel inhales and exhales quietly, a hint of a smile on those perfect purple lips.
Absolute treasures, aren't they? Keep talking.
I'm in love with them, actually. I've known them for like 2 minutes, and I'm in love with them. If they really are the creatures of the night that they claim to be, I'd better continue to think fast. I've survived thus far on wit alone, and I can't let it fail me now. Maybe confidence is key here. Maybe I can throw them off. Dude, no, wait. Both of these sound like horrible options. I'm an expert on your kind. Why on earth would they take that kindly? That sounds so rude. And then I'm still not convinced you're real. Sounds like that will literally just make them murder me where I stand, or lay, as it were. Sure, okay. Well, the second option at least doesn't sound as rude. I stand my ground. Surely I can easily play their game and win them over with compliments. There's just no way you're not LARPers. Silly, sexy LARPers. Why would I think that that's an appropriate thing to say to them? Jesus. I smirk at them, trying my best to make sure it doesn't shake nervously at the edges. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter. Laurel exhales a lilting laugh.
Que sera? Certainly an interesting credo to live by. And die by.
I mean, that's fair. That's truly fair.
You really are quite bold for a blood bag, aren't you?
Ilias, clearly on a different page than Laurel and Valeria entirely, flexes his big, beefy arm.
I just can't believe you think that humans could ever have muscles like mine.
Valeria narrows her eyes at me as Ilias palms his fist. He looks pretty keen on ripping me to shreds. I mean...
Illy, not yet.
A moment of raw tension passes.
This better be as fun as you seem to think it will be, Laurel. I can think of a million better ways to spend my time.
I don't know if Twitter is actually... Well, maybe she's the top who likes to get into Twitter arguments. That would make sense. Laurel pointedly ignores her.
Tell me, what exactly drove you to fling yourself into this pit of vipers, human?
Ilias grumbles.
God, it's so boring when you play Puppet Master. I'm over it. Enough talking. I'm taking what's mine.
Come on. I'm trying to flirt with your pal over there. A look passes over Valeria's face like she's suddenly reconsidering things.
Oh.
Ilias grumbles.
Come on.
A hunt can take many forms, Ilias.
Ilias throws them both a look of open disgust, but his sigh sounds a lot like defeat, however temporary that may be.
Ugh.
I'll make it fun for you, Illy. I'll even let you have the first bite.
The beefy vampire remains unconvinced. Ilias perks up a bit at that.
Humor me, and I'll hand over that extra special, super rare Wagelad spread from the 1992 Party Down edition of Glow Rods Weekly.
God. That does it.
The one with the,
Oh, the sparkles beside of his face. That's so cute.
Yes.
and the...
Yes.
Fine, human. Check this shit out.
Ilias straight up flexes, showing me his delts, biceps, triceps, and a multitude of muscles that I can't even name.
I'll also take the liberty to remind you that you had those muscles when you were alive.
Yeah, well, can a human do this?
Ilias drops to the ground and straight into a planking
Get
position.
on my back, Laurel. You too, Val.
Okay, I thought he was just gonna plank. That would have been great.
Fuck. Ugh.
It's an interesting sort of vampire pyramid.
Watch.
He begins doing push-ups with one finger. What the fuck is going on? What is happening to me? One second I'm practically begging for my life, and the next they're trying to impress me with their talents. I don't know what to think as my mind boomerangs from terrified to fascinated to enthralled. This certainly isn't what I had in mind all the times I've dreamed about watching three hot vampires rot each other. I'd be lying if I said this was exactly what I expected.
I'm sorry to tell you that everything you've learned from your insipid modern media is likely wrong. Laughable at best.
Everything? Laurel and Valeria dismount and Ilias huffs as he stands to join them. I have so many questions. Oh, come on. Okay, It feels like every choice is so important. Oh, God. Okay. So the garlic one is like the silliest, right? So will they appreciate that? Or will they think it's stupid and therefore kill me without having sex with me? Which is not what we want, obviously. We're gonna go with garlic. Okay. Is the garlic thing true? Does it harm you?
Quite the opposite, actually. It's delicious.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I'm glad they can enjoy it.
Especially on bread. And especially from the Garden of Olives restaurant.
No.
You know their unlimited breadsticks aren't really unlimited? They cut you off after 47 refills.
He's extremely cute. Oh my god. Okay, but what about coffins?
Do I look like I sleep in a coffin to you?
Okay, that's fair.
Who do you think I am? Fucking Nosferatu?
Now hold on a minute. Are you saying Nosferatu is real?
In a way, I suppose.
Huh.
You know, I actually knew Dracula personally.
Ilias groans loudly, but Valeria continues, raising her voice slightly as if to drown out his obvious sorrow. Vampires might not age, but the way that Laurel and Ilias seem to wither at the prospect of listening to her tell another story seems to sap a few centuries off their infinite lifespan.
Oh, it was all very exciting at first, the whole King of Darkness thing. But then you come to realize that he's far too invested in the wrong kind of impaling. Ah, such a waste.
Wait, you had sex with Dracula?
Oh, well, of course I fucked him. I'm not stupid. Oh, he's 6'7" and built like a god.
Queen, icon.
I'm just saying, it's unfortunate that he showed more interest in skewering his enemies than me. And I'm not going to beg any man, Dracula or not, to pay me attention.
Queen shit. My mind is officially blown. Okay, now I have to ask, what exactly is the difference between vampire sex and human sex? That's extremely forward. I guess I did ask that, huh?
Oh, you poor creature. You have no idea. It's better than your inadequate human mind could ever possibly imagine.
Hell yeah.
We can physically see lust spiraling off of bodies like smoky tendrils can taste the pheromones that linger on the tip of gasping tongues.
Jesus Christ.
It rules!
My heart starts racing, and then... Okay. Dinner?
Yes, that would be you. Sans a good garnish.
I am known to be pretty tasty.
urge to kill it is dissipating. This human has no sense of self-preservation.
Not the first time I've been told that. As I stare into 3 sets of wide scarlet eyes, I feel like I'm standing on the precipice of something terrifying and life-ruining. But my heart is racing like I've just won the fucking lottery. I think back to my dream. Was it a premonition? Was the universe predicting my untimely death at the hands of these 3 monsters?
I want to play with him. Make it last.
Ooh, sounds fun. They step forward again, just on the edge of too close, and their hungry gaze roams my body like they're sizing me up for feasting. The eagerness inside me awakens, stirring curiously, and it takes every ounce of my remaining willpower not to tip my throat in surrender.
Fuck this. I want to kill him right now.
Ilias, come on.
And
Chill
I
out.
call dibs.
In an instant, Ilias is racing towards me. His outstretched arms grab my shoulders, and we topple over. As I hit the floor for a second time this evening, I feel a very real sense of deja vu wash over me. He licks his lips before baring his cruel fangs.
Ilias, wait.
Thank you, Laurel. Valeria bends over and leans close, her long silky hair falling in my face. She traces the curves of my cheek with her fingertips trailing down over my jaw.
Tell me your name.
Nefamsel.
Well now, Laurel here seems to have taken a liking to you. So that means you have one final chance to plead your case. Good luck. And don't fuck it up.
Oh, Jesus, no fucking pressure. Part 2, taste. Okay, interesting. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Huh. This isn't exactly what I had in mind when I left my house earlier this evening, on the lookout for an adventure. Though it might be a situation that is played out in more than a few of my wicked fantasies, I have a terrible feeling I won't be getting the usual happy ending I imagined. No, this definitely doesn't feel like a running off into the sunset with 3 super ripped, super hot vampires with a gentle breeze blowing through my hair deal. Maybe they'll prop me up on the sofa when they're done draining me dry and dress my corpse with a fashionable pair of sunglasses. If I'm lucky. They certainly seem like the top. Focus, Neff. Ilias, who still has me pinned to the floor, is staring at me, a frown pinching his brow, and I wonder if maybe he can hear some of the weird shit currently swirling around in my brain. Valeria, still hovering close enough that I can smell her sweet perfume, grows more menacing by the second, and Laurel, quiet, contemplative, terrifying Laurel, is wearing a smirk that could kill you from 100 yards away. They're leaning against the wall, watching the whole thing go down from a safe distance. It could be worse. Maybe. If they want me to tell them why they shouldn't just kill me here and now, I'd better put my back into it. As a writer, I'm notoriously good at bullshitting, or as ghost and user Monsterfuckers69420 commented, presenting a fantasy that has people desperate for more. I need to figure out how to convince them to not rip my throat open. To not rip open my throat and suck my life away. And if I fail, honestly, it wouldn't be that bad either. I'd go out in service of something I love. And then I have a light bulb moment. Fucking terrible, ill-advised, monumentally stupid light bulb moment. Wait! Ilias and Valeria pull back quickly as if struck, their heads tipping to the side in the same way a dog would if you shook a treat ball. That's so cute. Laurel just puffs a laugh, but it doesn't look like they plan on stopping me from further pleading my case. I have to wonder if these 3 ever manage to have a fresh meal. Well, so if you kill me, people will find you. Sounds like the actual worst thing I could ever say in this situation. To be perfectly honest, I want to be like you. Sure. Okay. Wouldn't be my choice, but it is the choice. I have a proposition for you. Say I do end up with all the bargaining chips. What exactly do I want? I'm a paranormal rotter. Am I just content to leave with only the memory of this insane knot, trying to do it justice in my rotting? Or do I want something more? A souvenir? A trinket, maybe? Or...
We're waiting.
Fuck it, these are vampires. Clearly, immortality must be on the table here. I take a deep breath. What would I have to do to convince you to make me like you? That never seems like the right thing to ask in these kind of games. Like, I mean, I guess, okay, well, let's see. To turn me into a vampire. Ilias bursts into laughter immediately, which is really great for my ego, if not expected, actually. Jesus. But when I tear my eyes from his doubled over, hulking form and look at Valeria and Laurel, they seem to be intrigued.
That's hilarious. A really good one. I forgot humans could be so funny.
Talk.
I mean, I'd be stupid not to ask, right? I've literally dreamed of having an opportunity like this my whole life. Can you blame me for taking the risk? You're gonna kill me regardless, I think. Valeria shrugs and looks at Laurel.
The human isn't wrong.
Ilias snaps his head from side to side quickly, looking between his two comrades like they just grew horns.
Wait, are you actually pausing right now? Why aren't we chowing down?
He's just so fucking hungry, man.
Ugh.
So if you really want this, convince us.
My mouth falls open, then closes. Open, close. Right. I can do that. Shit. Fuck, what have I done? I feel Ilias's grip on my shoulders loosen as he swings his leg over to stop straddling me. Reluctantly, he sets me free, and I instinctively sit up, scooting my knees into my
We're
chest.
expecting some good entertainment this evening now, you know.
Listen, I'm fucking trying my best, bro.
Though I'll warn you in case you haven't already guessed, we're a pretty tough crowd.
Well, you haven't been that tough so far, Laurel, but I'll let you face it. I gulp, but I can work with that. This is just a game, right? A very stupid, very deadly game, but I've been gifted a few more turns to make this work in my favor. And, hey, I've played tons of games. I'll just have to use all my charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent to turn the tables. Judging by the looks on their faces, the longer I dilly-dally, the hungrier and more impatient they get. And like I already said, and like they already confirmed, the odds of me walking out of here alive are virtually non-existent. That's more than fair. I pause, letting the words hang in the air. Knowing I now have the full attention of the vampires, I use my next turn to stand up and brush myself off, making sure my stance is as confident as I can muster. They don't need to know I'm metaphorically shitting myself, despite them probably being able to hear my heart screaming in my chest.
It's not every day we come across a human who lacks fear when staring death in the face.
Well, firstly, you're all really fucking hot. Valeria rolls her eyes so hard I think they might fall out of her skull.
Okay.
Fair. What I mean is, vampires are brilliant, fascinating creatures that until tonight I thought were fact but fiction. I've studied you, written about you. Why would I be afraid to die when it's literally my Freudian death wish dream fulfillment come to life?
There's a lot of blood. Like a ton. A whole body's worth.
Oh, it's especially messy when Illy is involved.
He points at Valeria, and the look she gives him makes me think he might bite his finger off.
Plus, you're not even half as delicate as you think you are. You get sloppy too.
She turns her nose up at him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Illy is right. Remember that couple in Trinidad?
Ugh.
He clearly does.
I remember walking in on the three of you. It was a complete bloodbath. I'll never forget your face.
Don't make me make you forget my face.
As I listen to them talk about their past indiscretions, the idea of joining them on, Raucous? I don't fucking know how to say any words. Blood-fueled vacations sounds deliciously tempting. I muster up as much willpower as I can to keep my voice steady. I'm serious about what I said. I want you to turn me. I feel 3 sets of eyes narrowing in on all of my vital spots. Lara looks me over like a hamster in a cage. They smile at me, and despite it reaching their pretty eyes, it still doesn't quite stick. I am exceptionally good at making life interesting, if I do say so myself. I can teach you things like gaming, internet shopping, how not to act on Twitter.
We might be old, but we're not stuck in the Victorian times.
Fair, valid.
Oh, maybe you can fix my computer? It's doing that thing that it always does.
You're so cute. Jesus.
We can talk about your spectacular ability to infect every device we own with porn malware some other time, Elias.
Ugh.
Ugh.
With a wave of her hand, I feel my words die on my tongue.
You think it's something we can easily do? Just turn you. Like how humans adopt a puppy?
None of us chose this life. It's not all amazing Saxon free meals.
Valeria steps towards me, closing the distance between us. She takes my chin between her forefinger and thumb, making sure I have no choice but to look at her.
Oh, entertaining you and your little idea was fun for a second. But I get bored so very easily, and Illy's tummy is going to start growling soon.
Poor Illy's tummy. She leans closer again, her lips brushing my ear.
Hey, I'm always hungry.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, so... Fuck. None of these are inherently, like, bad options. I don't feel like I want to protect people would win me any favor with them. I want to be young and beautiful forever. Might seem like I'm, like, minimizing the impact or whatever the fuck. I want to mess with people. Perhaps. I want to be strong. Well, I'm gonna pick this, sure. I've seen hints of intriguing powers here tonight, things far beyond what I assume to be the norm for any old vampire. The way Valeria has seemingly silenced me without so much as a look, the way I was compelled to walk in here in the first place. I want to fuck with people. I want to cause utter pandemonium. I want to cause utter pandemonium among the masses to get inside their heads and, you know, it's hard to notice with how practiced they clearly are at maintaining their poise. But I swear I see Laurel's lips quick.
That's all very creative. But what, pray tell, would this utter pandemonium entail?
Hadn't fucking got that far, bro. Come on. I'd get laid ASAP. That's not fucking pandemonium. I'd save the world. That's also not pandemonium. I'd kill my enemies. I'd start a cult. That... Okay. So, like, I don't know. Something in my head tells me that they maybe wouldn't like the cult option. It's not, like, free enough or whatever. Whatever. I'd kill my enemies. Sure, why not? No. But But that's not pandemonium. Getting laid isn't pandemonium. Well, I guess depending on what you're doing. How much chaos are you causing? Jesus. Okay. I should have saved. I can only imagine how high the libido of a vampire would be. I'm ready to test that theory. I'll take it for multiple test drives. Honestly. Spit it out. I'd get laid, like, immediately. Take the new immortal body for a spin or 10.
That's nice, in theory. But you'd need to learn to walk before you fuck.
Underestimating me? Valeria backs down, seemingly content with my answers. There's a brief break in the conversation as she and the others appear to mule over my response. I wait for anything to happen. The silence somehow makes me more uncomfortable than the vampires themselves. I try to think of something to say to fill the void. So, then I hear, is that a meow? Wait, you have a cat?
Nasty Dennis, he's not just a cat.
I look around for this nasty Dennis and see nothing. The quiet, somewhat intimidating meowing continues. Can I see him?
Ugh.
Please let me see
If you
that
do
Dennis.
see him, it's probably a bad omen.
Oh shit, never mind. Is he like one of those cats who sit with elderly people in nursing homes before they die? Valeria snorts derisively.
I'll probably just shred your jugular.
Oh, that's fair. I support him. So that's where the nasty comes from. Got it.
Right.
I wouldn't say that I'm enamored, just curious. Speak for yourself. I'm enamored with nasty Dennis.
Isn't curiosity what killed the cat?
Valeria then gestures towards the gallery wall behind her with a dramatic flourish, presenting a portrait with dainty hands. Nasty Dennis is a shaggy white Persian with a permanent resting murder face, and he's wearing a dashing, tiny red bow tie. Pet the portrait. I mean, okay, why the fuck would I say I don't like cats? That's shitty, and I love cats. He's adorable. I'm gonna pet the portrait. I do what any smart person would do and walk right up to the portrait of Nasty Dennis to give it a closer inspection. What a handsome murder man! I reach out and scratch his perfect little painted chin, trying to bite back my smile, as I feel the three of them watching me like I just grew another head.
This is all highly amusing, but we do still have other matters to attend to here.
I think Nasty Dennis is of the utmost importance.
Just because you've lasted this long doesn't mean we won't kill you, you know.
As I've gathered, yes.
Trying to distract us by using Nasty Dennis as a pawn. I'm on to you, human.
How dare you? I genuinely love him.
Come on.
Right, that whole thing. Shit, I'm not sure how much longer I can hold them off like this. I've partaken in a risky game of breaking and entering, trespassing, and most heinously, I interrupted their game night, and now I'm stuck in a game of my own making, one of life and death. I can't just stand by and hope they'll want to keep me around without putting the work in, especially with such an incredible opportunity being dangled right before my eyes. Like all good relationships, it's not all about me. I need to know more about them. I need to know what the fuck I'm getting myself into if this all pans out the way I want it to. You've interrogated me, now maybe you should let me ask you some questions.
A question for a question seems fair.
I love them so much. Laurel winks at me and extends their fingers, my eyes drifting to those sharp, shiny talons.
But be careful. Any wrong answers in your innards will make a nice table dressing.
I think that's fair. I think that should be, like, the standard. Like, if you ask me a shitty question, I should be able to, like, shred your insides. Valeria seems to perk up at the prospect of getting to talk about herself. Icon.
Okay.
There are a lot of things I could think of to ask them off the top of my head. Like, do bats make good company, for example? But then, maybe I should use my chances wisely and ask something productive. What do you miss most about being a human?
Nothing. I'm perfect.
Understandable. I stare at him for a beat and he seems pretty serious. I expected something a little more profound, not gonna lie. Laurel smiles softly, almost wistfully.
Music festivals.
Oh. Music festivals. Music festivals, Laurel?
Thousands of bodies sweating out their worries together under a cruel but forgiving sun, laughing and gyrating in ecstasy.
Their smile is just so cute. Like, look at their face. Like, kiss, 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 kiss. Are there no vampire-friendly music festivals? Laurel tips their head this way and that, considering my response with a grin.
That's a good question. I'm yet to find out.
Laurel's eyes are sharp and full of mischief.
Who do you stand in LBS?
When I decided to do a round-robin game of Truth and Truth with the trio of hungry, sassy vampires, I can't say I anticipated this one, but I must acquiesce. Dude, I don't fucking know what any of this means. So, well, what's an LBS is probably the wrong answer. I mean, this one sounds like... I'm gonna say... Actually, pay no attention to that. It does not matter. Sure. They all have their strengths, and there's something I love about each of them. Find me one person on this planet who can resist... Human, for example. Valeria and Ilias groan loudly while Laurel looks incredibly impressed. This bodes well for me.
Fuck.
Shit, sorry, I really love K-pop. I tend to ramble. Laurel nods approvingly. Is that satisfactory, Laurel? They nod, but I'm not entirely sure if I've made a good impression or not. Before I can ask my next question, Ilias practically bulldozes Laurel out of the way.
1. How does a 3-day hunt in the woods sound to you? 2. How do you like your blood to taste?
Dude, this is so many questions.
3. Where is your favorite place to bite someone? 4. What are your opinions
Oh
on
my
swordfish?
god. Well, someone's eager. Oh my god, okay. So, I fancy nibbling on a good collarbone. Well, that's not exactly not true. Is that like... Sure. Well, I'm sure there's no wrong place to bite someone. I think a nice nibble on a collarbone sounds quite delectable. There's something sexy about the sharp curve of them, the way they so delicately frame the top of the chest. And the bite there would, of course, be a sensual one. It's not like you just whip out your collarbones for anyone, right? I imagine if you do it just right, it's pretty hot. They all look pretty shocked. Clearly, they underestimated me and my ability to wax poetic about body parts.
Oh, I do appreciate the way you talk about bones.
Finally, some appreciation around here. I feel my cheeks start to heat. And by the way, Ilias is looking at me, his chest heaving. I think I might have excited him.
Are you quite finished hogging the human illy?
Aw, someone wants some time with me. Ilias pouts, and Valeria pats him on the chest, and then she's staring me down, a deadly look in her eyes. My turn.
Tell me.
Oh wait, no, that was her speech.
If given the chance, how would you try to impress a fine specimen of a vampire like myself?
Okay. She pokes at one of her fangs with her tongue. It feels like a threat. Probably because it is. A sexy one. Think fast. Okay, I'm glad it's not like fucking Tommed or some shit. I'll write a story about you. I'll give you a killer foot rub. I'll take you anywhere in the world. Well, she seems like she likes to travel. Maybe this is correct. I want to take you anywhere, everywhere. Everywhere. We'll travel the world. Her eyes light up at the prospect, and she doesn't even try to hide her apparent eagerness. I hold myself back from launching into a poorly timed rendition of a whole new world, but only just. He sighs wistfully.
I miss killing people in different countries. Americans have come to taste so bland. My palate isn't as refined as it used to be.
That's fair. I imagine Americans taste pretty bad. I can fix that. I know where all of the tasty humans hang out. Valeria smirks, and I feel my heart do a little lurch in my chest, out of fear or arousal. Either is possible. All of these questions, all of this incessant prodding. This is either the weirdest job interview I've had or the best speed dating session I've ever been to. I can't tell if I like it or love it. Before they pump me for more information, there's something I'm desperate to ask about. Powers, abilities. I know they have them, and I want to know it all. If I'm potentially going to be a vampire by the end of the night, I should be well informed about my new body will be capable of. I want to know about all the cool vampire shit you can do.
Interesting priorities. Though it's a fair question. The added benefit of near miraculous strength has its perks, but being a walking polygraph makes living in the shadows of humanity that much more entertaining.
It's hard to choose one thing.
He runs his hand through his hair like a male model in a perfume ad as he contemplates his response.
I'm basically good at everything. But if I've got to pick just one,
Good God.
sharpened senses. I can hear a mouse's heartbeat at the other end of the house. I could smell you before you even set foot in here.
Well, being young and beautiful forever certainly has its perks, but if I simply had to choose one thing, I'd say that I quite enjoy thralling people. How there's something inherently satisfying about bending people's will before ripping their throat out. You know, there's an art to it.
Well, those were all mildly terrifying. That all sounds incredibly cool and fun. The three of them look very pleased with themselves. They're so silly. It's getting late, or early, and I feel the anxiety pangs in my chest as they stare at me with thinly veiled impatience. Or judgment? I can't quite tell. My quick-firing brain is telling me that they're talking about me telepathically, or something. The silence is deadly. I've pleaded my case for long enough, and I really can't stand to wait around anymore. It's time. So, did I pass the test? Laurel taps their long fingernails against their chin in contemplation.
Call me curious, but if you had to choose one of us to be your sire,
Oh geez, a sire
who would
already.
you pick?
Clearly, there's only one correct choice.
This has to be a trap. There's no way this isn't. If I choose one, will the others pounce on me? If I don't choose, will I die regardless? Even if it is a scheme to get their fangs in my throat, I have no choice but to answer. Like, I've been choosing Laurel this whole time because I'm in love with them. But like, if I could choose polyamory, that'd be great. But I haven't been choosing the options that the others like. I'm gonna save again because I'm so stressed out. So we're gonna choose Laurel. It has to be Laurel. They've enchanted me with their mysterious ways and their almost mischievous demeanor. I think we could have a lot of fun together. Laurel, I choose you. Oh, come on.
Pika Pika, I guess.
Oh. Oh, so he does use he, they?
Well, is that your final
Didn't
answer?
Yes, it is. My cheeks flush and I avert my gaze from Laurel, who stares at me quite intently, apparently satisfied they're the chosen one. So...
Have some patience, kitten. This is an important
okay.
decision. You've made it past step 1. Congratulations.
You almost sound impressed.
Oh.
Okay, fair.
But you're past the point of no return. Are you truly ready?
Listen, I've been ready this whole time. I fucking promise. I am. Valeria reaches out her hand. I do my best to contain my excitement as I press my palm against hers, but I can't help but think about what the hell is going to happen next. Part 3, Valeria, Ultraviolence. Interesting. Ultraviolence, okay. She leads me into her room, with our fingers intertwined, laced together like lovers. It's strangely intimate, maybe too intimate for almost strangers, but then I remember that it's not like this evening could possibly get any weirder. I will hold hands with the crazy hot vampire, and I will not overthink it! Hell yeah. It's easy to forget how cold her skin is when her eyes are trained upon me in the way that they are right now. Like if I make even one wrong move, she'll snap me in two. That thought alone is enough to thaw the chill. Snapping can be sexy. Sometimes.
Well, here you have it, where the magic happens.
I laugh, sharp and quick, and she frowns, her brow quirked, and I quickly realize that maybe that wasn't a Cribs reference, and she's just saying that sincerely. Shame. She strikes me as the type to enjoy mocking celebrities for their bad taste in furnishings. Maybe if she decides not to rip my throat out, I can enlighten her about the joys of reality television. She releases me and I take in my surroundings, observing the little personal touches strewn around the room, hoping I can gather some insight into the kind of vampire that she is. That might be a sore subject, depending. Well, she did talk about him of her own volition, and she does seem to enjoy talking about her past. Is the cat a safe bet, or would it annoy her? And then the handcuff. Before I can think to control where my gaze lands, I'm immediately drawn to a shiny gold object upon her bedside table. Handcuffs. Fancy ones. Those are nice. Valeria follows my line of sight and grins.
If you're a good little kitten, maybe I'll let you play with them. Would you like that?
Well, I mean... I once again cannot control the expression that crosses my face. If I could put a name to it, I would say unadulterated horniness. Understandable? Fair? Oh fuck yes I would. Valeria bites her bottom lip, her head tilted slightly. Oh, I have to ask about more than one. That's interesting. Ask about Nasty Dennis. I spot a copy of the delightful portrait of the terrifying, elusive Nasty Dennis, sitting proud of place on her dresser. You must really love Dennis.
That's Nasty Dennis to you, human.
Okay, yeah.
Show some respect.
I mean, like, that's fair. Why would you take off the nasty? That's a core part of him.
And love is such a strong word. He's a bastard and a devil, and he has ruined so many of my beautiful clothes that I've lost count.
I'd love to meet him one day. She narrows her eyes at me like she's trying to decide if I'm worthy.
You do not meet Nasty Dennis. Nasty Dennis meets you.
Completely fair, I understand. Wow, that's super ominous. No, it's not. It's perfectly rational. Is that a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula on your nightstand? It is, yes. A wonderful little story. Oh wait, no, I'm not reading their dialogue, sorry. What? She preens, staring down at her blunt nails. I think she's trying her hardest to look indifferent, but her smug face is giving her away horribly.
Yes. Rammy Bear was such a wonderful house guest. Very polite.
Brammy Bear. Brammy Bear stayed with Dracula at his castle to write Dracula?
Darling, did you really think that human just plucked all of that out of thin air? Don't be silly now.
Does that mean Frankenstein's monster is real? The Wolfman? Van Helsing?
Ugh.
Valeria, why would you mention a vampire hunter right now? Valeria makes a noise of pure disgust when I mention Mr. Helsing.
We don't say his name in this household.
Like, fair, yeah. She takes an angry little step forward and prods her pointer finger into my shoulder.
Frankie was a terrible conversationalist, and the Wolfman was a shitty movie. Also, you're really asking me about those morons when I'm standing right here. I've literally had Dracula inside me.
She has a fucking point, bro. Why would I press that? My self-preservation senses start tingling quite aggressively. Clearly, this is not a subject I should be pushing if I want that sweet, sweet immortality. Sorry, you're right, he sucks. Who has the audacity to make a living out of killing vampires? Valeria seems to relax a little, the look on her face now one of indignance rather than pure, unfettered murder rage.
Right. I mean, we are clearly superior.
I nod enthusiastically and pray I've placated her. With a sigh, she comes closer, grabbing my hand again. Valeria smiles and guides me over to the plush bed, our joined hands held high between us as if she's about to spin me into a pirouette. With very little effort, she shoves at my shoulder and I land upon the mattress with a quiet oof. She leans in close and breathes me in, her fingertips bunching in the front of my shirt. Her breath is cool when her lips graze the shell of my ear, her voice low and pleasing.
Your heart is so very loud, like wings beating against a cage. Are you scared, little bird?
I think your heart also beats pretty fast when you're aroused, to be fair. Should I be? I swallow and wet my lips, trying to compose myself and at least attempt to form a coherent sentence. Should I be? Valeria chuckles, and it's a decidedly wicked noise. My skin prickles, hair standing on end.
That depends on just how much you're looking forward to dying tonight.
I can't help the laugh that escapes me. The nervous little sound would almost be embarrassing if I had the ability to focus on anything other than Valeria right now. She raises one of those perfect brows at me, her lips curling at the corners as she zeroes in and advances on her prey. The mattress dips as she presses a knee upon it, right between my thighs, nudging them apart. The long, cold fingers that still rest upon my chest curl tightly in the fabric of my shirt, and she follows me down, her full mouth a mere inch away from my own as she tilts her head in question. I mean... You can do whatever you want with me. I've already surrendered. Is that smart? It wasn't smart. Oh god. That, can I go back? I want to go back. Okay, I'm gonna go back because, it's my game. Let's play and I'm allowed to do what I want. Okay, we're all the way back here. And now we skip. And now we just do all of this again. Fuck. Damn it. Why didn't I click them in the same order? Why not?
Right.
Please. Okay.
That and
Yes, nasty
You do-
dance, my beloved. Okay. Should I be? Nah. I want to be like you, is I suppose the best option. I want the freedom and the fun you have. Want to be reborn, to be like you.
yes, you said that already. It's the sole reason why you're still alive and not a pretty corpse.
See, that didn't seem like a very good option either. My chest flutters when she calls me pretty. Okay, we have our priorities in order, at least. She pulls away, but her grip on me remains firm. I don't think she's scared I might try to get away. She knows I'm not stupid enough to think I could succeed. She clearly gets a kick out of asserting her dominance. I'm not mad about it.
The problem is, if I turn you, I have to suffer your presence for eternity.
Okay, that's fair. Valeria pulls back until she's far away enough for me to get a proper look at her. All of her. I let my eyes roam her form, from her shiny raven hair to the way that dress clings to every dangerous inch of her body. I feel my cheeks heating, and I idly wonder if spontaneous human combustion really is just a myth. Valeria tuts loudly and flicks me on the forehead before she grabs my chin, yanking my head up so I have no choice but to make eye contact. Okay, fair. Her words are sharp, but she's smirking and looking entirely too pleased with herself. She clearly enjoys being admired. That I can work with. I can't help it. You're beautiful.
I'm aware. Now cut the shit and tell me why I shouldn't drain you dry and bury you underneath the hydrangeas.
Ooh, hydrangeas. Let's see. I'll be loyal to you. Perhaps you would find that dull as well. I've never wanted anything more. Why the fuck would she care about that? Because why not? Sure, let's go with that. Maybe I'm reading this all wrong. Maybe Valeria is thinking about all the cons of siring, like committing to adopting a kitten when you don't know shit about cats. Because why not? Her eyes narrow. Don't feel obligated to look after me or anything. I'll just be on my merry way after. Like, thanks for the immortality. See you later. Valeria stares at me blankly, her expression entirely unreadable, and then she bursts into musical laughter. I feel awkward, not sure if she's laughing at my proposal or because she's stoked about it, but then her laughter cuts off in a split second, and her expression is stone cold serious. Murderous. Oh boy.
Oh, you look at me and believe that I would bestow such a precious gift.
Okay. I think I've picked the wrong option again.
Siring is akin to that of a one-night stand. That I would, let's say, fuck you and kick you out with your trousers round your ankles.
I won't be a burden is what I'm trying to. Her fingers close around my throat faster than I can register the movement, and her grip is less than gentle. It's suffocating and holds a deadly purpose.
You know nothing human. Just another pile of flesh and bones, waiting to be made a meal out of.
Tighter, the tips of her blunt nails biting into my skin.
And I will eat you alive.
Oh, okay. The last thing I see before I squeeze my eyes shut is her bare fangs, and then there's nothing but white-hot pain. Instinctively, I try to struggle, reaching up to take hold of the hand that chokes me, despite knowing the fangs in my throat are the things that'll kill me first. She sinks her teeth deeper, drinking me down. Vision blurring, red creeping in at the edges. Fucked up. Yep, we fucked up. I died. Sucks to be you, ha! Okay, well, let's go back to here again. And get back to there, and then, not pick that option this time. Because it clearly was not the correct option. Should I be? Oh fuck. Should I be? And then I want to be like you. And then I've never wanted anything more. Because I've never wanted anything more than I want this. Valeria's brows pinch together and she grips my chin a little harder, tipping my head this way and that. I managed to squeeze my words out despite the way her fingers grip me and dig into my cheeks. It's not desperation. She crinkles her nose.
Well, it smells like it. Stinks of it, actually.
Hey, I don't smell. Valeria smiles and my whole body shivers. She releases me slowly, my cheeks aching from where she held me so tightly, and she steps away from the bed to lean against her dresser. I sit up quickly, gathering what's left of my wits, and at least try to be cool. This new distance between us tells me she's giving me a chance. Maybe an interview of sorts? I'm fucking great at interviews. Clearly. She stares at her nails, trying to seem uninterested, Something I'm coming to learn she's actually pretty shit at. It's weirdly endearing. If Valeria likes to talk, I can go for hours. Tell me about how you met Laurel and Ilias. You seem like an interesting group. He scoffs.
Oh, you mean horribly mismatched and frankly fucking bizarre. I agree, but it works.
She takes a deep breath and gets that look again, the one she had in the lounge when she launched into one of her stories.
For Illy, I was living in London in 1901, just minding my own business. You know, being only mildly nefarious, but keeping a low profile.
I nod when she looks to me like she's trying to check that I'm following. As you do.
I would feed just enough to keep myself sated. I didn't want to overindulge in a city I didn't know. Our kind rule Romania. But London is different. More controlled.
She crinkles her nose in disgust briefly before waving it off. I pointedly ignore her very obvious, very British accent.
I was still mourning the loss of my life and my station back home. But I made sure that I took enough money from my husband to keep me comfortable for decades. I wasn't about to give up the luxuries I'd become so accustomed to. Then I heard about the murders that had started to plague the city. They were horribly messy, throats ripped out, limbs and organs missing. Certainly not the work of a pathetic human. I was enamored immediately upon viewing one of the crime scenes. I knew it wasn't purposeful, that whoever had done it was simply a feral fucking animal, but to me it was art. The pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood didn't have shit on him.
She smiles, unabashedly fond in the same way someone might be if they were talking about their significant other, buying them a diamond ring.
Only a specific kind of monster could make such a beautiful mess.
I shift uncomfortably, and Valeria notices. She narrows her eyes at me and then smirks. Terrifying, if not mildly alluring. What the fuck is wrong with me?
I found him eventually. He made it easy for me, of course. He was a disaster waiting to happen. The kind of gorgeous idiot that would get our kind called from the city by the hunters if he carried on. When I laid eyes upon him, I knew I had to have him. The moment he curled his fingers around my throat, I think I fell in love.
That's fair. That's understandable, I think. She sighs dreamily, once again looking besotted, like she's recounting a fairy tale rather than whatever the hell kind of horror story this is.
I told him I would help him and teach him how to live like a vampire is expected to. I didn't think he'd be interested, but it didn't take long to convince him.
How exactly did you convince him? Her tongue flicks out to wet her plump bottom lip. It's easy to notice how dark her eyes get, even with the distance between us.
I showed him what he could have if he listened to me like a good boy.
Okay, that's fair. ... I stare at her blankly and she huffs, flicking me on the forehead. Ow! Of course! I feel my cheeks heating. Figures he'd be easily subdued with that.
He is a man who enjoys the simple pleasures in life. Fucking, fighting, feeding. It's what I like about him the most. That and his huge...
An involuntary squeak leaves my mouth. Valeria looks at me like she's contemplating foregoing story time to script straight to murder
I was
time.
going to say big personality. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Okay, of course you are. I simply do not believe you. She purses her lips, clearly trying to stifle a smile. And Laurel, when did they come into the picture? Valeria chuckles.
Laurel happened a little later. Illy and I had stayed in London for a few decades, and we grew tired of it.
She curls her lip in disgust as if she's remembering a particularly unpleasant memory.
We'd traveled by boat, all cooped up in wooden crates like animals when the sun was out. Though we did have fun come nightfall. Oh, sailors are very tasty, you know. salty. Plus, it was terribly convenient to get rid of bodies when you're crossing the ocean. Just plop, right into the sea. Bye-bye.
I feel a bit sadistic when I laugh, but somehow she makes even dumping dead bodies sound charming. That's convenient for sure. She narrows her eyes at me and I feel dumb for forgetting the murderous vampire does not like to be interrupted.
We had drifted around America for a while. Found ourselves in New Orleans. I hadn't seen a place with so many of our kind since I left Romania. It was wonderful. But then that big brainless meat monster couldn't keep his fangs in his fucking mouth.
She sighs wistfully again, her gentle tone not quite matching her biting words.
We caused chaos. The streets ran red with the blood of our victims. It was pure bliss. And then shit got weird.
Weird like how?
Like Laurel weird.
Of course.
Illy and I started feeling strange, like something was whispering in our ear and telling us to do and feel illicit things.
More illicit than murdering hundreds of people?
Firstly, thousands of people. Fuck you very much.
No judging. She looks to the side as if she's actually thoughtfully contemplating her response. Incredible.
Illicit by your feeble human definition? Yes, I suppose. But I'd been living life of my own volition for long enough that I'd forgotten what it felt like to be controlled.
Controlled? She bites her bottom lip and hums in agreement. You should have charged, Jesus. Oh, my God. Her laugh is smug and dirty.
Unbeknownst to us, Laurel was watching, and I think he decided that we'd been taught our lesson for messing up their pretty little home. No one, mortal or immortal, is immune to me.
I swallow loudly. I can't exactly disagree.
They came out of hiding to introduce themselves, and the rest is history. And here we are, centuries later, living in a 3-bed in Portland with a leaky attic. It's not exactly the life I pictured for us, but it's ours. The world changed in ways we couldn't have anticipated. It's harder for us now, despite humanity being more akin to cattle these days.
True, I suppose. I can't disagree with that.
But the point is that they and I fit together beautifully, especially when it comes to Laurel and I terrorizing Illy, the poor thing. They've taught me so much when I thought I knew it all.
She points at me threateningly.
Tell him that, and you're dead, though.
Noted, but that's kind of romantic. A vampire love story for the ages. It's novel-worthy. Her glare is cutting. If you say so. I feel like I did it again. I do, as a writer nonetheless. She really is bad at hiding her feelings.
So, did that satisfy you? Any more questions about my sordid escapades?
Okay, so at that, I'm gonna pause for now, because this video is gonna be extremely fucking long. And it doesn't need to be any longer. So I hope whoever fucking watched this enjoyed.